Hi everyone, this is Pedro. Today we'll be looking at creating scales, harmonizing them, and creating melodies. This is anything but special if not for the way we're gonna actually do it, which is using interval relationships. If you like these type of creative ideas to apply to your music composition, stick around, you'll have fun. Let me quickly show you what I mean by creating a scale using interval relationships. So in this case I chose the minor third and the perfect fifth interval, which I stacked starting on C. So you see here a C, E flat, a minor third, then a B flat, a perfect fifth, and another minor third, a perfect fifth, minor third, perfect fifth. And I stopped here at the F sharp because I already have the 7 pitches I need to create the scale. So put in consecutive order, this is what you get. Oh, incidentally, this is how the stacked intervals sound, which already has a cool sound. Let's see if I end up using it. And this is how the scale sounds. So pretty interesting, and let's see what can be done with this. The next thing I did was to harmonize the scale to figure out what chords I could do with these notes, with this note arrangement. And I practically focused on having triads to keep it simple. Of course you can get all sorts of other chords, but I focused mainly on triads, and these are the ones I found useful. Some of them are repeating because of inversions, but here they are. The 6 that I found were useful. So there's already this feeling that we have chords that are outside of A key, and that can be interesting. So the next thing to do is to create a melody and then harmonize it using these chords. So this is using the scale material we came up with, and because this is not something that I'm accustomed to, this scale, I basically just fooled around with it a bit on the piano to kind of have a feel for it, and then yeah, this is the melody I came up with. Next step in my harmonization process, I created the bass first because it really helps me with a sense of direction, harmonic direction. Again, especially because this is not a scale I'm accustomed to. Here's how it sounds. Next up, what you're gonna hear is me filling in the space between the bass and the melody with chords. I basically use those chords that I showed you before, and this is what I got. Sounding good to me. And what can I say about this? I took advantage of this descending chromatic line right here. This is part of the scale, and also then ascending right here. So it creates a movement that helps me also to guide my chord choices. It's an extra alongside with the bass. If you are a bit uncertain about some of the things that I'm discussing or implying, please head on over to the blog. I'll put the link in the description, where you'll find things like intervals, which is the basis of what we are doing here, and chord formations. You can hear and read all about it, and how to harmonize scales. These are pretty much the topics we'll be touching on today. You can create your own rules to create a melody using this type of approach. So you can go ascending and repeat the interval pattern, meaning descending or ascending in minor thirds, and then switch it up to a perfect fifth. You can play with octaves, interval inversion, all that. I put a different color in some of the notes because those are notes that I use to help me go from one pitch to the other. Also meaning that you don't really have to be too stuck with these rules, with these restrictions that you yourself impose. You can basically adjust as you go, because the goal is to make something that sounds good, right? But for the most part, this melody was built using that type of framework. Next, I'll be harmonizing it, doing a free harmonization, because I'm not going to do the same thing I did with the other scale. This time, again, I'm going to harmonize it freely, using mostly minor chords. This melody pushes me towards that type of sound. As I followed through the harmonization process using the same procedure as before, meaning that I created the bass first, and then I harmonized, I filled in with the rest of the chords. I ended up tweaking a little bit more the melody to make it more fluid to my ears. For the most part, I did succeed in using mostly minor chords, and this is how it sounds. And this is it for today. I hope you got the hang of using interval relationships to create scales and melodies. I'm sure if you give it a go in your music, I'm sure you'll bump into things that otherwise you wouldn't, so it's definitely worth it. And again, if you feel that you are missing out on anything, please head on to the Beyond Music Theory blog. The links are in the description. Make sure to click them. And finally, if you like this type of content, please hit like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and until next time.